Welcome to Crash Course QGIS Episode 2, where today I'll be teaching you shapefile creation and manipulation. So we're going to be using the following panels and toolbars for this tutorial. If these tools are already available on your desktop, you'll see which ones they are as I've selected them. If they're not activated, then you'll be able to activate them in the following way. So heading up to the menu toolbar just at the top here, we're going to be turning on the Layers panel. So that pops up in the corner here. We'll be using that to select our layers. We're going to be turning on the Advanced Digitizing toolbar, not panel. There's a difference between the two, so if we use that one there, we're going to be using the digitizing toolbar, which is just here. We'll be using the snapping toolbar, which is here, the selection toolbar, and the data source manager toolbar just there. And then finally we'll be using the Tile Plus add-on, which we will use for the base layer. If you don't already have that installed, you can learn that from the first tutorial. Before I start editing, I'm going to change the layout of this just because this is a mess compared to what I usually work with. So to change things around on your toolbar up here, you can just select it and drag it. You'll see that there's a little panel there for dragging. I'm just going to move this Tile Plus out of the way. So data creation, I usually have the selection next. If I just drag that there, yep. Then editing. I'll have snapping second, yeah, and there we go. And then I'll disable Tile Plus because I don't need that there. Just move this down here, just for the sake. Okay, perfect. So 3 different types of shapefile that are used within cartography software. Those are point files, line files, and polygon files. We'll be creating each of those and then exporting it and then re-importing it again just to show you how this works. So we'll start by creating a temporary file. So heading up here to the shape temporary scratch selection option. We'll call this one point temp, geometry type point. So you'll see there's an option here to change the CRS of the file. Don't worry about that. It's currently set to the default, which is the default of the program itself. Because we haven't set it, we won't be setting it, we'll just keep it as it is. And then below that is a new field. This is where you can add options and columns for the attribute table. So just to show you how that works, we'll create a few here. So we'll create one here called text col. And that'll be type text, length 10, and then when you're happy with that column, just add the field to the list. We'll create another one here called whole number. We'll call that whole num. Keep that at length 10, add that field to the list, and then we'll create another one here called, we'll select boolean, call this one bool col, and then add that to the field list too. Once you're happy with that, just down here, click OK, and then that'll add that to the map, and then we can start editing. So heading up here, this is where you'll be able to add new points to the map. So we selected this field here, so I don't know, we'll just go over here and select some of these trees. We'll just try and put it in the middle here. So you'll see when you click, I'll just do that again. So I'm just going to click right here, expand that up. So when you have clicked, you'll then have the option, if you've already created the fields in that file itself, to then add these here. So what we'll do is we'll call this one num1. This will be whole number of 1, and we'll just tick this for the sake of it. The next one here, we'll call this one num2, whole number 2, and we won't tick that. And then we'll put one just here, and we'll call this one num3. We'll call that number 5. It says hitting 6, we'll keep it as 6, and we'll tick that one as well. So what we did was we added 3 points to the map, and then we edited their values. So to see all the data that we entered into the file itself, head over to the Layers panel wherever you put it on your desktop. Right click on the file, mine here is point temp, and then head down to open attribute table, and then you'll see all the data that we've input there. Now that we've added a few points to the map, I'm going to add a new temporary scratch file. So heading back up to the top here, heading onto a new scratch layer, I'm going to call this one polytemp, geometry type Polygon, and we'll keep that all blank because for the sake of this tutorial we don't need it. So once you've got that created, to create a new polygon, which we will use to go around the outside of this field here, head up to this symbol up here, which you'll see will change when you select. So it's moved from polygon now to points, just to show you what you're working with. Click on that, and then I'm just going to draw around this field here, very roughly. There you go. And right click when you're finished, and there we go. And then finally we'll create a line which we'll use for the road running along the side here. So heading back up here to the new temporary scratch layer, heading to line string, we'll just call this one here line temp. You don't even actually need to name them, it's just it's easier for yourself when you've created a bunch of scratch files which ones you're working with, and we'll keep that one blank as well. So again, heading over to layers, just make sure it's selected. you'll see here that the line type has changed. So paying attention to just here right for a moment, heading to points, it'll change to points. Heading to the polygon, it will change to a shape, and then heading to the line, it'll change to a line. And then to draw the line, just like we did with the points and like we did with the shape, you just click and click and click and click until you're happy, and right click to finish. And if I'll just make that a bit bigger. So if you want to play with the shapes and the colors, which we'll cover in the later tutorial, head over to the object itself. So here I'm just going to click on line temp, go to properties. For symbology, where it says line width, which you'll see just here, I'm just going to expand that. There we go, and you'll see that the line here is getting thicker. If I move that out of the way and then hit apply, yeah, there you go. You'll see that it's changed its thickness, and you can do the same for color as well. So if you change it to like that bright red, hit apply, it'll change the color. If you're looking to cut your line shapefile, it's as easy as this. First, make sure your line shapefile is enabled for editing. So to do that, you head up to wherever your line shapefile is. For me, it's just here at the top. Then you head up to this symbol here, which is the symbol for editing, this little pen. So click that. Next, we head over to the select features by area or single click. And I just drag a box around the area that I'm trying to select for the line. So as you can see, I've selected the line now here. Next, we head up to the scissors tool. We click outside of the line, drag it across the line to the next side, and then click when you're happy. You can do this multiple times, so I'll just do this coming across like that. And then when you're happy, right click, and it will have then cut your line for you. So if I just go to select features, I can just show you. So there's one line selected from the other side, there's the segment in the middle, and then there's the segment from the side. So sticking with the line file now, let's say that you want to move the line for whatever particular reason. If we just head up to here, you'll see that this option here, which is the Move Features option, once you've got that selected, you can click anywhere on the screen, and you'll see that the line then moves. So wherever you next click is where it will be. And you'll see the ghost of the line here, just as you move it. So I'll move it back to the road, and then I'll move it over to the edge here. This also applies for all of the other shapes. So what we'll do is we'll select Polytemp, and we'll move that as well. So as you can see, moving that shape. And then we can do the same for the point files here. So if we make sure they're selected, click the move feature, and there we go. Now if you want to move individual files, this is where things get fun. So you'll see over here, you'll have the this is the move, this is the select option. So you'll be able to select a particular point file. So if we just change that actually, because it's not that obvious. So heading to properties, change the size to, let's go crazy. Let's call it 50. Hit apply. There we go. So if we want to move one of these, make sure that you can select it. Usually it will highlight in orange, in yellow. You can change that, but that's for a later tutorial. So again, click on the move feature. You will see that you can move the dot anywhere you want. So if I just move it over here where it looks like there's some sheep, move it down there, move it down now. Now this isn't a polygon as this is here. Now it looks like it's the same polygon, but it's not. That's still a point file. It's just that we've changed the object to be a lot larger. So next we'll work with rotations. So we'll have to switch over to the line. In fact, no, we'll stick to the line for this one. So we'll highlight the line, which is now highlighted in yellow. So if you want to rotate it, you'll see the option here. It'll be the shape with the little rotation symbol. Click on that. Click anywhere on the map, and then you'll be able to drag the mouse. And wherever you drag it, you can see that it's also rotating it. Now, if there's a particular angle that you want to rotate it to, I believe you can just type up here. So, for example, if you wanted to rotate it 90 degrees from its current position, yeah. If you head over here where the ticks are, you can tick it, and it will turn that display off, so you won't have to worry about it when you're working with other files. But they will still be there if you click them back on again. So this is a good place to end the second tutorial. I don't want to overload you with information. If there's anything that you're unsure about, just go back through the tutorial. Practice makes perfect, drillers makes killers. So if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to either drop it in the comment section below or to send me a direct message. If you like what you've seen so far, please like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.